Supervisor Miller?
I heard a lot of the comments here this morning, and I certainly understand that these folks bought homes on a golf course property and it's been neglected. One gentleman outlined all the issues that are going to be quite expensive to fix. And I certainly understand the wanting to get that fixed and to have a park. And then someone mentioned Canoa Hills. The issue we're facing is with the fact that we're now asking taxpayers, we're telling them we don't have the money to fix the roads, and it is always another project. Let's get one more. This is going to cost at least $100,000 to maintain. We've already seen that from Mr. Huckleberry. The numbers have changed. We were told initially that it had asbestos, came back, and we didn't have any findings of asbestos. I'd like to know who paid for that study.
Mr. Huckleberry?
And what it cost.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and Supervisor Miller, it was done by our Risk Management Department independent testing laboratory, probably in the neighborhood of $1,000. And I think the report said it would cost X if there was asbestos. It didn't say there wasn't asbestos.
It said there was not asbestos, right, as I read the report, but it's just we've invested money in doing these studies, and I get it. The landowner does not want to have to do the maintenance himself. He doesn't want to have to fix it, because let's just give it to the county and let the county taxpayers fix it. There's another problem. We can't keep doing this. This is why our roads aren't fixed. And it's been going on for how many years? And we got a report, I'm looking for it. Is this on another item on the agenda? Hold on just a second, please bear with me. I think there was another item related to this.
Item 12 on the addendum is also related to it. We're going to consider that next.
When I look at this, and you've described it, these pictures, it shows this golf course is a mess, and it's going to take a lot of money to clean it up. I know Mr. Huckleberry's got roughly $90,000 to clean it up. That concerns me, because that's not much money to do all the work that everyone was talking about here, that the paths that are destroyed, to get all the grasses cleaned up, and then $100,000 a year to maintain it. It's just another expense given the times. I'd love to get a park for everyone, 10 parks. We would love to do that. Everyone would love to do that. But when we're facing the situation we're facing with our roads, it's a safety hazard as well. The roads all over your district as well. I've heard you many, many times talking about that. If you wonder why your roads don't get fixed, because there's always a shiny object out there, the next shiny object that is available that people want to spend money on. And this has happened time and time again. And it's just time that we stop doing this and stop taking more property off the tax roll. Again, we're losing the property taxes. What is the amount of property taxes that this property pays per year right now? Does anybody know?
Any comments? Mr. Huckleberry?
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I think we put the number in there, but I think that number is probably very misleading, because I think that the point is that the property owner basically will ultimately stop paying property taxes, that it reverts to sale, and reverts to sale similar to what occurred in the golf course in Chrome, Tucson. And if there's no buyer, then it reverts to the state as a deed, and then it takes probably 4 or 5 years to clear the title on the property. So I think the issue of whether or not the county receives property tax from the property is really not relevant.
How much is the property tax right now, the annual?
I don't know the number. It's,
It's in there somewhere, I didn't see it, and I looked through this pretty closely, but we'll find out, but that's another added loss. We're taking more property off the tax rolls. The first memo we got showed that you were going to purchase the maintenance building for $295,000, and it appears that has now been taken off the table?
Mr. Chairman and Supervisor Miller, no, the county was never going to purchase the maintenance building.
Not going to purchase it. So the first memo said there was a maintenance building and the owner wanted $325,000, and you had come up with an appraisal of $295,000.
Mr. Chairman and Supervisor Miller, we have never offered to purchase the maintenance.
But that was outlined in your memo.
That was part of our due diligence.
Okay.
But it was never contemplated to be purchased.
Okay. And then so we have removal of asphalt, repaving pathways, $15,000. You think that's going to cover it? Not from the pictures I saw. Those pathways are a mess.
Mr. Chairman.
Just a second, Supervisor Miller. Can you answer that question?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, if you look at the length of pathways, most of the pathways, the length of the pathways are all concrete, and they're fine. It's some of the connecting asphalt pathways that need to be replaced, and my project management and engineering and estimates from staff indicate that's 15,000 will more than cover it. They actually gave me a number of 10,000.
Very good, Supervisor Miller.
And then the demo of 3 restrooms are going to cost $35,000. And the new restrooms, if they're going to donate those, if someone is going to donate the $300,000 to build the 2 restrooms, why is Pima County even getting involved in that? Why are we going to manage it? Why don't we have them do that first before we take it into inventory so that it doesn't fall on the taxpayers to, number one, provide staff to have to manage that. And we don't have any guarantees that they're going to get the donations to do this. I haven't seen anything in writing, and I'm talking about in writing, not, yeah, we think we're going to get it, because we never do get it.
Mr. Chairman. Yes, Supervisor Miller. The point is that the existing restrooms are out of code. They don't meet ADA access requirements, and they have the utilities disconnected. They need to be removed. And part of a public park is why the county will own the property, and parts of public parks typically have restrooms in them. We've indicated in the material that we weren't going to build or make investments in restrooms in the immediate future, and if the community felt it was a priority, they needed to determine how to achieve donations. We often get donations from 4 county parks to make physical improvements on a number of parks, and so this is no different than any other county park.
The other question I had is, these folks talked about how they paid premium to live on a golf course, and to have that type of environment to live in. Do we, accepting this into inventory, does it create any sort of liability for the county in terms of legal obligation to the folks who moved there, bought that property, and paid that premium for those lots?
Mr. Chairman and Supervisor Miller, no, there's no liability. We would expect that over time, as a national park reestablishes itself, is that the adjoining properties will increase in taxable value, which will then offset any maintenance expenses of the county.
Okay. Well, that's interesting logic. I don't follow that one, but we're right now asking taxpayers, Supervisor Christie proposing a sales tax to fix our roads because we don't have any money. They keep hearing this. And we have no business doing this, taking another park, golf course into our inventory. The Parks and Recs Department director refused this donation when it was offered to the Parks and Recs Department in Pima County. That wasn't long ago. They refused it because of the cost of maintenance, because of the cost of improving it. And even if you keep it a natural open space park, I will quote from that memorandum from the Parks and Rec director, who refused to take this into inventory. Maintenance of this property will be extremely costly, for which Natural Resources Parks and Recs does not have the funds. Complaints are expected to be significant, which will likely lead to ill will with the surrounding community, and it does not fit into any recreation or conservation plans that the Parks and Recs Department has in the Green Valley area. Therefore, we have no desire to accept this donation. That was when they went to Parks and Rec. That was the feedback they got. We need to say no to this. We can't afford it. It's not because no one wants to get you a park. I mean, we can't just keep spending money like this, and it's just another project that we shouldn't be doing. I'm sorry that the gentleman that bought this golf course made a bad investment. He made a bad investment. He bought it. You should be holding him to clean it up and fix it. But it's going to be put on the Pima County taxpayers, I have no doubt. And we're going to have to do the bailout of an individual who invested and bought this golf course, and now doesn't want to make the improvements for the residents. At a minimum, he should be asked to pay for all the rehab costs, inspections, to get this up to a point where we're taking it into inventory. It shouldn't fall on the Pima County taxpayers. It's another example of shrinking the tax base. We're taking it off the tax roll, and it's just wrong. But I'm sure this is already a done deal. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for the comments, Ms. Miller. Next, I have a couple things that I need to take care of here. Mr. Huckleberry, you wanted to make a comment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just for information, I think it's the record and the actual assessor's rolls will show that property values increase, and they increase sometimes significantly when they're located adjacent to natural parks in Pima County. It's occurred in the Tucson Mountains, it's occurred in every mountain park we have, and every major natural park that we have in the county.
Thank you very much. And then Council, you wanted to make a comment, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It discovered there's a minor typographical error in the resolution that's attached to this item in item 12. Page 1, item 5, there's a statutory citation that says section 48-3606. It should read 48-3603, so I'd ask that the motion include the amendment.
I'll accept the correction.
I will do.
Thank you.
Very well, thank you, Council. And then Supervisor Christie, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all from Green Valley who took the trip up here. Raise your hands so we can see who all's here. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time and commitment. Last year, the owner of a former golf course that had been closed and shut down for several years approached the county to explore the possibilities of donating this 130-acre property to the community of Green Valley. Due to the lack of use, there were concerns that the property, because of its immense size, would fall into an unkempt and unsightly condition. Due to the fact that over 3/4 of the acreage fell within a floodplain, as well as the fact that the 130 acres abutted some 12 to 13 HOAs, rezoning the property for commercial or residential use was not a feasible alternative. As discussions progressed between the property owner and Pima County, interest through the Green Valley community upon hearing that this shuttered golf course could be repurposed and allowed to return to a natural setting recreational site quickly and enthusiastically spread. On April 1st, the Green Valley Council presented to the community their report entitled the GVC Park Task Force Report. The mission of the task force was to get community input on the park, gain an understanding of the support in the community for such a park, and what desires or concerns the community might have in terms of use, needs, and wants. Their extensive efforts and report overwhelmingly indicate that the Green Valley community wholeheartedly wants and needs this recreational opportunity. The costs to bring the property up to usable conditions for the community are minimal, and due to the property being primarily in the floodplain, would be borne predominantly by the flood control taxing district. Green Valley has embraced this open natural setting with unbridled enthusiasm, and already maintenance partnerships to care for the park are in the works. This property conveyance to the community of Green Valley is thoroughly supported and endorsed by the Green Valley Recreation, Green Valley Sahuarita Chamber of Commerce, Country Fair White Elephant, Mark D. Napier, Pima County Sheriff, the Town of Sahuarita Department of Parks and Recreation, the Canoa Hills Redevelopment Committee, the Green Valley Desert Hills No. 4 HOA, the Green Valley Council, and the Santa Cruz Valley Bicycle Committee. There have been attempts by a few to prevent the Green Valley community from realizing their desires and goals by spreading malicious and false information and total fabrications in order to stop this natural park setting from being conveyed to the Green Valley community. Inspections and due diligence by both the county's departments and the Green Valley Community Task Forces have proven these allegations to be unfounded and untrue. There is zero cost for asbestos remediation, as there is zero asbestos in the restrooms. It has been reported that it will cost $5 million, $3 million, $1 million to bring the park into useful compliance. Again, not true. It will be under 6 figures. The Green Valley community is underparked to begin with, and the Green Valley community wants and needs this park. It makes sense for the board to approve receiving this donation of 130 acres, and a donation like this one does not come around very often for the recreational benefit of a community. I urge the board to listen to the unified voices of Green Valley and approve the acceptance of donation of real property at Canoa Hills Golf Course Resolution number 2018 FC2, addendum item number 8. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Any other comments from members of the board on this particular item?
No, Mr. Chairman, it appears that the property taxes on this are about $8,800 per year. I did get that information. I wanted to share that with the board. Thank you.
Very good. All right, then roll call, please.
Supervisor Bronson?
Yes.
Supervisor Christie?
Yes?
Supervisor Miller?
No.
Supervisor Valdez?
Aye.
Chairman Elias?
Aye. Motion carries. We're on to